Hello, and welcome back to the Norwegian campaign in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. So the actual battles are kind of slowing down now, as Britain and France don't have that many ships left. Although, let's see, they are building some. France is building 24, Britain is building 31. So they're gonna keep trickling in, but from here on out, the war is basically gonna be about naval invasions. So, okay, Britain, that's a lot of ships you got here being repaired, I guess. Fine. So they might have quite a bit, actually. So next month, I think I'm gonna design some ships. So let's go. But of course, we might have to fight some battles first. They shouldn't be too big, though. But first, there are some strike missions to do. Let's see, one single DD. I think we can handle that. And again, I think this is a job for a single cruiser. Like this one, which is already alone. So it will have the honors. 11-inch guns. Might be a bit overkill on a DD. It'll probably work out fine. These ships haven't really had the chance to shine that much. The ones with the 11-inch guns. The Frigg class with their 9.5s, they've gotten to shine quite a bit. Let's see, you launched. Did you launch all? Yeah, you launched 10 out of your 20 torpedoes. So if we just turn like this, they should not hit. Secondaries are actually doing quite a bit. Secondaries did some work here. The 5-inch guns. Pretty impressive. And next one. Similar. Single enemy ship. Let's put one of the sisters to the test versus a light cruiser. And here we go. We have spotted the enemy cruiser, the Amphion, and Vidar is the heavy cruiser I sent to do the job. 11-inch guns should be pretty much ideal for dealing with a ship like that. Which also doesn't have torpedoes. So, not really much to worry about here. There we go. 10,000 damage hit. Main belt 10. Another 5,000. Taking some damage in return though from all those 5-inch guns on the enemy cruiser, but they're really not delivering much of a blow. Not like we just did to them. Nice. Now, with that out of the way, let's see how the invasions are doing. 70%, so we're gonna move this force in here. That's 295,000 tons. That's 211,000 tons. So we're gonna move these out. And take northern Algeria, maybe? 96%. Okay, so they're gonna take northern Spain from me. Not really much I can do about that. If I'm lucky, the circles here pop up so that I can do both invasions at once with this task force. Let's see, 21%, that is going backwards. 66%, so they're probably going to take Mauritania as well. I would have liked to launch an invasion of Thailand now too, but I will have to wait until next turn, because I can only do one invasion at a time. And next turn I would also like to launch more invasions here against Canada, but yeah, it will just be like that. Okay. Let's see, what are we getting here? Big guns. Mark 4 19s. Nice. And I'm guessing after that we're gonna get the Mark 4 20s. That would be nice. No triple base yet. We're getting slowly getting slightly better torpedoes. Anyway, let's design something or other. Not exactly what DDs, I think we're gonna design some DDs. So I've got this hull now, which can go up to 6,000 tons almost. That is a very big DD. So it's probably gonna end up being quite expensive. 38 knots though. That's a quick DD. That's a very quick DD. $1.6 billion with gear turbines too? How about 37 knots? That's still very expensive. We'll see. Maybe it gets better if I let's see, drop the beam down a bit. Yeah, a little bit better. Let's see. Okay, we can get some good tower spotting out of this. That's good at least. If I can fit the towers. That one fits. Okay, secondary towers. Guess we're doing a barbette tower. if I'm doing 2 small funnels, we're at 900 million. Oh, almost a billion. I mean, I have the money now to buy a DD like this. That made it shrink. Let's see, where does it grow long again? There we go. I mean, it kind of works. 800 million though. It's a lot, I'm aware. Let's see, there. That should be centered, right? Yeah. Main guns. We're going for triple 5-inch guns, which look quite small on a hull this big. But there we go. That's the main armament. Now torpedo launchers. This is the actual main armament. I am tempted to do something weird here. Let's see. 24-inch. Some parts are badly placed. I made it too narrow. Still too narrow. Maybe this just is not possible with 24-inch torpedoes. If I do 23, no. For some reason they're just too close to one another. So we're going back to -6 like that, and we're just doing them center line. Back up to 24, thank you. That is a volley of 25 24-inch torpedoes. There we go, slightly improving those angles, just a little bit. Turbine funnel 1, can I make that? No, that is the smallest one. You can have a slightly bigger one though, in front of it. It's not noticeably bigger, but anyway. And we can have some secondaries on this. To help deal with enemy DDs. Not sure if they're gonna do much of a job, but they might. This is a very expensive DD, so it should be able to fight enemy DDs when called upon. We're already overweight. And we're not even close to yeah, the torpedo launchers don't weigh too much. Range is pretty good. I can reduce that. I can drop the bulkheads down just a little bit. And I guess I can, they don't weigh too much, these either. And I like the idea of just having an 8-kilometer bubble where it just lays down a hail of fire. And I also like the idea of my $1 billion DDs not just exploding. It's standard, actually. What's my flash fire chance? It's probably not too bad, really. 3.2%. It should be able to fight enemy DDs. Launch long-range torpedoes. And spot for the rest of the fleet. Okay, that's the armor. Not a whole lot of armor, but we're 1,000 tons overweight. Where did that weight go? Into the speed? Don't tell me I have to make this insufferably slow. It's a 1,000-ton main tower, though. Complex small tower, too. I picked the lightest one. Let's see if I can mount these here. Yes. 7% overweight. And I've completely nerfed my speed. Completely nerfed my speed. Survivability is not excellent. Guess I can reduce some of this as well. Or do I just have to wait until I get gas turbines before I can build something like this? Yeah, we're gonna have to start over again here. This is not working. Not working out for me. This might work though. 36. If the J33 can do it, we can do it here. You're not getting the same kind of tower spotting, sadly. Like so, thereabouts. Actually, secondary tower. It's the tiniest tower I can pick. This one. That works. And then place a funnel here. And one seems to be enough. 164% funnel capacity is not terrible. Come on now. Centered? I think so. It looks centered. I don't seem to have a side-to-side offset, so probably good. Now this is not really deserving of the name Ormenlange, which kind of suggests it being very long. And this is not that long. So we're just gonna kind of give it a bit of a boring name. This will be the J38 class of DD, because it's designed in 1938. That'll make it a bit easier for me to figure out if this is, oh, is that my latest DD design, or is it an older one? There we go. Lots of launchers, but will they fit? That would be that would suck to get this into battle only to then realize that, oh no, only one of my 5 launchers can actually launch. That would be a bit of a bummer. So we're gonna have to remove 1 and go with 4 quintuple launchers. So you got more torpedoes than the J33 class. Alright. Not bad. And we're not overweight yet. So, so far so good. Let's add the usual components. See where we end up. This is where we might end up being overweight. Because everything here is very, very heavy. No, still good to go, really. Quarter 3, TNT 4, electrical turret 2, auto reloading. This is where we break the bank. No, not yet. We still got 20 tons to spare. You can drop down that range, because 17,000 is still pretty good. Can make it a little bit slimmer. I think it was minus 4, minus 5. Okay, we got the radar, we got the range finding. Let's get a little bit of armor going on here. .8 on most of the ship. These guns can harm DDs without much trouble. overweight, but not by much. Not by much here. So, this can be remedied. Like that. Simply. Okay, that's the J38 class. Adidi. Not super exciting, but yeah. Let's save it. So, yeah, 433 million. More than twice that of the J33 class. And if you compare that to the where's the refit Viking? 39 million? Yeah. Uh, these are not really disposable DDs, but I think they can work. They got better tower spotting than the J33, if only just by a little bit. So they can do actual scouting with their radar. Now, let's design something bigger. So let's see. This is the super battleship hull that we built the Dovre class battleship on with the 18-inch guns. Then we got this slightly smaller super battleship hull with a lot less resistance. A little bit less resistance. Let's see, you get Italian towers. Alright. Mix of Italian and German. On what looks like a British hull. With American funnels. Let's look at the other hulls first. Modern Battleship 3. Italian towers on this one too. Nice. Okay. So we can make something out of this. Let's see, 28 knots. Let's go and balanced and turbo electric. There we go. Range is insanely good. So we can turn that down, save some weight. Now for guns. These barbettes do fit. So that's that. Maybe this is something that has to be built on an actual super battleship hull, not a modern battleship. So we're gonna nix the 20s for now. And just go with 18s, I think. Like so. I was gonna move the barbette, not the turret. Gonna do it like in smaller increments. There we go. That kind of works. That kind of works still. Alright. Alright. That's the main armament done. Let's build the rest of the ship as well as we can. Did I remember Modern 1 armor on the... I don't... Maybe I forgot. It's not really that important on a DD. Let's see here, like so, and like that, and we still got some weight to spare, and that is even if we're starting with some ammunition. Standard ratio. Actually increased HE on the secondaries. Where's my flash fire chance now? 0. If I go with increased ammo, it's still 0. Increased ammo, heavy shells, 2.5. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's see, coincidence. Radar. 2.6 billion? Not too bad, really. Still. Let's go 5 on the main deck. 1 on the fore and aft. 2.5 on the superstructure is good enough, I think. Uh, 4.5 on the inner belt. That is quite excessive. Three on the third inner belt, I think, is enough. Same as 1 on the third inner deck. Turrets, I would like to have some more armor on those. .45 caliber 18s. Ah, I didn't even select it. Come on, game. Stop being like that. 50. That gives me some better range. I like that. Liking the profile of this. Then again, I kind of am a sucker for these Italian towers. Been ever since I played my my last Italian campaign. Now for secondaries. And it's, when you think about it, quite logical that the that we decide to go with bigger 18-inch guns on the capital ships now, seeing as we've been seeing a lot of really big guns from the enemy. Like Britain and France both have super battleships with 20-inch guns, so we're just responding to their escalation. It's a lot of 5-inch secondaries. Maybe not the most effective secondary caliber, but I guess it works. And we got weight left to spend. Let's make them 5.9s. Because that's 150 millimeters. Right. 13.9 kilometer range. It lets me add a little bit more armor to their side. And even some armor to the barbette. If not much, it's at least something. Can I go with anti-torp 5 on this? I sure can. What is my resistance? 142.6. Minus 65% gun damage. Plus 122% slope design, which increases ricochet chance. That is pretty nice. Can even go anti-flood 3 here. That's pretty lightweight for a ship with this kind of main gun caliber. Do I want to put something back here though? I've got a 3% 4-weight offset. That is not really much. Like, dip is very forgiving with the 4-weight offsets, or aft weight if you end up getting that. In vanilla, that would be more than 3%. No, actually, probably 3%. I think dip just cuts it down to a tenth of what it would be in vanilla. There's probably a bit more to it than that, but that's what it seems like. But even 3% doesn't really mean much. See here? You're not going to notice that. Minus 0.1% of something. Yeah, no. You're going to have... oh, conning tower armor. Thanks for reminding me. Person screaming at your screen. 18 on the main belt, though not really possible. So we're just gonna have to rely on those inner belts. Keep me safe. Let's see, we're closing in. Let's go 4.5. 4.5. There we go. No longer overweight. That's a pretty ship. Not really playing with the 20-inch guns yet, though. As I promised I would at some point. So, Håkon the Good, or actually Håkon Adalstein Fostre, actually son of Harald Hårfagre. So, interesting connection there with the other modern battleship class. So let's keep that name. Nice. Let's see. We got more hulls though that we haven't played with yet. And of course it's gonna take a while before I can actually build any of these. So yeah, they're gonna get refits when they are launched anyway, to incorporate the latest technology. Now the government has decided that since the British and the French and possibly more nations have begun fielding ships with 20-inch guns and displacements closing in at 100,000 tons, and the Germans reportedly having ships surpassing that by quite a bit, we need something with 20-inch guns. And we're going back to the modern Battleship 2 hull. That's because it's a very good hull. And we're gonna see if 20-inch guns fit on the... That's a huge funnel. I cannot fit two of those, and I would like to have two funnels on my capital ships. Because one, it looks good if you got two instead of one. And two, you get some redundancy. If the enemy hits your funnel, well, you still have another one. Now, 20. These are only Mark III. They do not fit on this tower. Sadly. Okay, we're picking another hull then. But it's gonna have something with decent resistance. Modern Battleship 3, we just built something on that. Modern Battleship 2, it is smaller actually. But maybe smaller is not bad. Maybe we can make something work out of this. Light Modern Tower 6. Let's see, we got 25 base, 48 long range. Yeah, it's spawning range is slightly better on the Modern Tower 2 enhanced. 3 enhanced actually even better. .24 base, 45 long range. Yeah, we're just gonna have to sacrifice some tower spotting. It's because the accuracy stats were so much better on this. Let's see, funnels. Chunky funnel there. Smaller-ish funnel there. I only have these weird French funnels. Might have to pick another secondary tower then. I mean, if there's anyone up on these little platforms here, they're gonna get fumigated out of that big funnel. Of course, I could just go with one funnel. Even though I just said I prefer to have two, but that's a preference. It's not like written in stone. Okay, we're probably gonna have to go with twins. Put it a little bit further ahead. I should be able to rotate 360 degrees. If I wanted to go truly French, I could of course go with quads. Just make a super Richelieu. Yeah, twins are gonna be more accurate. This is just 6 main guns, but they are 20-inch guns. And this will be a fairly affordable and nimble platform for something with that kind of main gun caliber. I could even make it faster than 28 knots, but then it would have trouble keeping formation with other ships that have a top speed of 28 knots. So to make it easier for myself, I'm just gonna make it 28. Secondaries. The usual 7-inch guns will of course find a home on this ship. Not too many of them though. Can I fit some back here? No. Apparently not. Oh, just barely fit there. There we go. Yeah. I'm just surprised I'm not allowed to put anything like freely back here. It just goes away. Because that would have been nice. Have one centerline turret here. But apparently that is not allowed. Yeah, we might make something useful out of this. Perhaps. We're closing in on that weight limit though. Standard ratio. Let's go with capitalistic 1 instead of 2. Tube powder TNT. That puts my flash fire chance at 0. How about heavy? 5.3. That is not 0. Let's see how much tonnage I have left after assembling this. I still got some left over. Three on the third inner belt, 1 on the third inner deck. I guess 18 is the maximum for the main belt, so that's just what we gotta go with. Protect my extended belts from cruiser caliber guns. Decent conning tower. Need some very decent turret armor. Can I make these a bit longer? 55, yes. Okay, the 20-inch guns. Yeah. Keep in mind, they're gonna be Mark IV. By the time this is finished, I will have the Mark IV guns refit. Okay, yeah, we can go heavy. We can go heavy shells for this. Flash fire tunnel is not the greatest. If I go electro hydro 2, that reduces flash fire by a bit. That reduces it by a bit too. Okay. We got some tonnage to spare still. Let's up the anti-torp. That brings my resistance to 144. That's not bad. That's pretty good actually. Let's see, what else kind of secondaries can we fit here? Just gonna go with 2-inch? Sure. fine. I guess that works. Can I go all the way on anti-torp? I can. 2.4 billion, that's not too bad. Not too bad, really. That is cheaper than this one. It's cheaper than Harald Hårfagre. Yeah. I know some of you probably still wanted me to put quad guns on this, but that would be difficult to make that work in terms of weight. I guess maybe not, because the citadel would be very small. But that will leave me with a very vulnerable aft section. I kind of like this though. The A turrets being able to rotate 360 degrees. And most of the ship is protected by thick belt and citadel armor, which, yes, it makes it heavier having that cover that much length, but it also gives you more of the ship actually covered by that armor, so it works both ways. Njord. I'm gonna just think of a better name. Let's see, yeah. It kind of works since we're invading Canada, I guess. Yeah. That's it for this ship. Unless I also want... that's too heavy. Yeah. Let's not bother with radio. I got radar anyway. So... good enough. It would be fun to make these 20.9 inch guns, but maybe that's just too much. Yeah, that's way too much. That is way too much. We're just gonna save it like this. Torfinn Karlsevne, or Karlsefni, also known as. Anything else that I can build? I guess I got a new light cruiser hull. Fast scout cruiser. Interesting. 36 knot top speed. Not bad. And we got these towers here that when I played my Chinese campaign, vanilla, in 1.6 point something, I also had access to a similar light cruiser hull with these kind of towers, and it was absolutely impossible to build anything on it because the towers were too heavy. You just could not make it work, especially not if you wanted radar or any kind of range finding, which of course increased the weight of the towers by a percentage. And they were very heavy to begin with. Let's see, let's try and... oh, didn't mean to pick the funnel there. There we go. See if I can have these like butt right up against each other. There we go. With no visible gap in between. Let's make it 6,000 tons. Round number. 5,000 was apparently impossible. What is going on with these? I'm not gonna mount that gun, but that is funky. That is cool looking. We're gonna go 7s. There should probably be 7.5s. We're gonna go quads. Cannot mount something back here because I made my ship too tiny. I can probably have a secondary or maybe torpedo launchers back there. On the upper tiers, I want to have secondaries. Yes, secondaries. Especially these funky quad barrels. Like so. These 2-inch guns fit anywhere? Yeah, they do. That's quite a lot of DACA. Do you actually fit here if I make you a 24-inch torpedo launcher, though? Let's see, balanced and turbo electric. We're still not too expensive here. We're still pretty affordable for what this is. Let's see, you are badly placed, I take it. Yeah. But if I pull everything slightly forward, can I then fit torpedo launchers on the back here? Quads, maybe? We're just gonna have to do one quintuple launcher then. I guess that works. Range is very, very good as it is. So we're just gonna drop that down by a little bit. Typically don't need that much barbette armor on a light cruiser. There we go, overweight. No longer overweight. 6,500. Let's see, let's say 7,000. That just made the ship grow a little bit. Can I now fit 2 launchers back here? Yes, I can. I could probably fit another turret, though, instead. And just not worry about the torpedoes. But that is heavier, actually. Because torpedo launchers in dip hardly weigh anything. It was very finicky with the placement here. It fit there. Okay. Got 400 tons left to play with, which isn't a whole lot. Say we can do like that and like that. Flash fire chance 3.2. Let's go increased HE. Auto 1 reloading. Coincidence, we're gonna have sonar. I think the torpedo spotting on this hull is pretty good. Torpedo detection range 2600 meters, not bad. Main deck is 2 inches. That is very, very excessive for a light cruiser main deck. I mean, if we're taking plunging fire from guns like that, we're pretty much toast to begin with. So we're gonna do it like that. And that will be equal to 1 inch, actually. So we're gonna just turn that down quite a bit. And there we go. A bit overweight. Let's see, these are almost 55, so we're gonna make them 55s. We're 600 tons overweight. How did that happen? I haven't even maxed out the bulkheads. Range is very good, as I said. Yeah, the tower did get a little bit heavier with the targeting components and the radar and the whatnot. 230 tons for one of those funnels. We can go down a few sizes. Yeah, we're saving quite a bit of weight by going with these funnels instead. Saving some weight at least. These quad 2-inch guns, we're gonna replace them with twins. I'm keeping the quad 3-inch guns though, just because they're very, very cool. Oh, that is decent range and decent penetration. This can go through DD armor out to 7,500 meters. That's pretty good. And at that range it would be safe from its own guns. At least the main belt would be safe. I need some turret armor too though. No, come on. I didn't touch you. Preferably with a little bit of barbette armor. Not that I can take much. There we go. Now to shave off 500 tons. That's the challenge. Do I have to max out this hull, really? $300 overweight now. Let's see, how much do my like the torpedoes themselves, how much do they weigh? Very little. For what I'm getting, having these torpedo launchers on, I'd say they're worth the weight. Because they really don't weigh much. If I go with diesels, that makes me more overweight. Seven, eight. Balanced seems to be the lightest in this configuration. I'm not sure what I want to cut either. Advanced secondary tower 1, that's the one I picked. Advanced main tower 5. I can save a lot of weight actually by dropping down to advanced main tower 3. Do my things still fit? They do. I can save quite a bit of weight by doing that, yes. Torpedo spotting should now be not quite as good, but not much of a difference really. I think we're onto something here. Can I go back up to 36 knots? Almost. Can almost do that. 34 tons overweight. That's not much at all. That's really not a lot. $29 tons overweight. Well, let's keep them at 24. It's because the torpedo range now is... Oh, I forgot. Oxygen torpedoes, of course. Now we're 49 tons overweight. But they've got pretty good range now. If I go with... 16 tons overweight. Not too bad. Not too bad now. 3.2 flash fire chance. Again, not too bad. Oh, I forgot. I might want my turrets to actually be able to turn around. If I go with tube powder 2, 3 I mean, it is heavier. let's just keep it at 35 because I think that's what my other light cruisers are capable of. Yeah, 35. So let's just keep it at that. Yeah. So back up to quintuple launchers because it's simpler. And what to do with the rest of my available weight? Can add a little bit of deck armor, I guess. A little bit of belt armor for the citadel. 1.5. That's quite decent protection, actually. Tangrisnir, 521 million. That is, if I'm not mistaken, that is cheaper. Yes, that's cheaper than Hati. You got the same 7.5-inch guns. Same number of barrels, actually. One less turret, but same number of barrels. And we got torpedoes again. And I think this is quite an attractive little light cruiser. So with that, that's enough shipbuilding for now. I will see you again when something happens in the campaign, be that a battle or maybe peace treaties or something. Goodbye, and take care.